Hi guys, Dr. Berg here. Listen, I had another question about fertility, and someone was having a hard time getting pregnant, so they wanted to know what nutrients are good for that. So we're going to talk about that. There's really two main categories of nutrition that you need to focus on to increase fertility. One is the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, E, and D primarily. Why? Because these are the nutrients that can go through the fat layer of the cell and innervate and go right into the DNA, the chromosomes, and start affecting things on a big level. So if you're deficient in some of these vitamins, which by the way act almost like hormones, you can end up being infertile. So where do you get these vitamins? Well, the first thing I'm going to recommend is never to consume a prenatal synthetic vitamin. Make sure your prenatal is always food-based, okay? Because you'd be surprised what they use to make those prenatals. I mean, it's just petroleum, chemicals. So look on the back label, make sure that it tells you what food it comes from, or just consume the food. So let's just talk about the food itself. Cod liver oil, really important if you're pregnant. Get a real high quality one, virgin cod liver oil. That would give you very good amounts of vitamin A and vitamin D and a lot of other things too. Eggs, pasture-raised eggs, very important, especially the yolk. Grass-fed cheese, grass-fed butter, that's good vitamin A, or organ meats. Now, I know this, you might turn up your nose to that, but organ meats, especially if it's grass-fed, contain some of the highest nutrition that you can get, even higher than vegetables. There's a liverwurst that you can get. It's grass-fed. You can order it online. I'll put a link down below. And it has a combination of liver, kidney, and heart. Now, it might sound kind of gross, but it's so healthy for you, especially if you're developing this baby inside you. It's incredible. You'll have, even from the heart, you get this coenzyme Q10 that gives you strength. So you'll actually have tremendous strength, and you'll give this, this new baby all the material that it needs to grow perfectly. So I'll put a link down below. Vitamin E, seeds, nuts, vegetables, things like that. Vitamin D, all of these, but also sun. So that would be the fat-soluble vitamins. Trace minerals, those are minerals needed in very small amounts. The two big ones that can, if you're deficient, can cause infertility or a stunted growth would be zinc and iodine. Okay, so seaweed, sea vegetables, and then shrimp, beef, seeds, and oysters. So that's where you get some of the trace minerals. Trace minerals activate enzymes that help you build proteins. I mean, so you're growing this baby inside your body. You want all the trace minerals to provide so the enzymes can start to work. Unfortunately, our foods are pretty much void of trace minerals. So you could get a plant-based trace mineral, which that would be a good idea too, because those are the ones that absorb 100%, and they're 15,000 times smaller than regular minerals. They'll go in like a rocket ship. And that way you have a good chance of developing a real healthy baby. Now, once you get pregnant, continue this, but make sure when you have your child, try to breastfeed, because start to put this, this baby on infant formula right off the bat. It's not good because it's loaded with soy. Okay, that's number one. Number two, don't ever give your kids juice in a bottle. You're just going to destroy the teeth. It's pure sugar water. All right? Thanks for watching. Let's talk about birth control and copper overload. When you're on birth control pills or an IUD, which usually comes with copper, and that can create a lot of problems because when you increase copper, you severely decrease zinc and you create an imbalance. There's a lot of symptoms that can occur from too much copper. But here's the thing. Estrogen increases copper in your body. And one of the reasons why they use copper as an IUD is it immobilizes sperm. It's antimicrobial. And it creates a lot of other things too that can inhibit fertility. One is it increases estrogen. So copper increases estrogen, and estrogen increases copper. They feed each other. But at the same time, we're lowering zinc, lowering vitamin C, lowering iron. It impacts the vaginal microbiome, the bacteria that regulates estrogen. So we get this huge alteration in estrogen. Not to mention that high levels of copper stop the liver from removing excess amounts of estrogen. So we have this increase in copper, increase in estrogen. And the symptoms that occur with copper toxicity, hyperactivity, ADHD, autism, skin sensitivity. So the sensation of even clothing on your skin gets very, very irritating to you. Can inhibit your ability to learn because of how copper affects certain parts of the brain. The little white spots on the nails, you becoming more emotional, especially angry or irritable, potential problem with ringing of the ears, and sensitivity to shellfish. Well, what can you do? Well, there's several things you can do. One is to find a safer birth control method. Number two, you can get a product called DIM, which is a concentrated cruciferous compound. Cruciferous is very anti-estrogen, so it will help to regulate estrogen in a very natural way without any side effects. Also, to reestablish the microbiome, you not only want to take something with probiotics, you want to take a prebiotic. So you want to take some fiber from vegetables, things like that. I recommend doing a fermented sauerkraut or kimchi or even fermented pickles. That will give you both the prebiotics and the probiotics together, and that will help you. Because another side effect from birth control pills is high levels of candida as well. So you can actually help that condition. Number two, calcium-D-glucarate. This is a really good remedy to help balance your estrogen. And even more importantly is to make sure you take enough zinc. Just by taking enough zinc will automatically lower your copper and pull you out of this copper overload pretty quickly, simply because zinc and copper work together. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.